These games are leaving the Game Pass, but are any of them worth your time? In today's video, we'll go over these overlooked games. Some you may have never heard of and may just want to check out after this video.
Wake up! Come on, you lazy bum! Wake up!
Oh, you? Go away. I'm sleeping.
Not anymore, you ain't.
You're right. There are fears to fight and a hero never sleeps. Oh, right. Let me guess. No fears to face? As always. Go home, bird. I need a drink. Where's my ice?
FIGMENT is a quirky, heartfelt adventure from 2017 that pulls you into the colourful, surreal world crafted by Bedtime Digital Games.
Look! The Mind's reward system just released a bunch of endorphins.
Endorphins. Nice.
In FIGMENT, you play as our whimsical hero known as Dusty, set out to recover your cherished scrapbook filled with treasured memories, stolen by a haunting nightmare known only as the fear of loss.
Hey! Your arm still works!
Eventually you'll come across the first of these fears, and you're introduced to the first of the bosses, accompanied by a rather finely crafted soundtrack to accompany them.
I'm saving my step for kicking your butt.
Throw up your hands in sadness and lose yourself in the madness. Dance!
This song in particular is called Fear of Loss, sung by the talented Klaus Flint-Bjerg, with a wonderful track composed by Stoy Snack.
Everything is.
After defeating the nightmare, they'll run away, and Dusty continues with their adventure, determined to get the scrapbook back.
Cerebrum City. Remember this place, Dusty?
I'm not here for a trip down memory lane, bird. I'm here to find that thieving bastard.
FIGMENT is on the shorter end, being around 5 hours, but has plenty of puzzles, enemies in your path, and a wonderful performing talent for the music and art that is pleasing to the eyes, and I can't recommend it enough. And hey, if you like the first game enough, there's a sequel from just over a year ago that's just as wacky, filled with a uniquely shaped world with just as much heart as the first one. I'll be linking both games down below, and the game's soundtrack that they've conveniently posted to Bandicamp, so go ahead and give it a listen. It's quite a treat to the ears. Commonhood is a commons building and conflicting narrative-driven game released in 2022 by Plethora Project. You scavenge for supplies, manage the different commons that you build, and interact with the various people you come across as you solve the issues and upkeep the community you help build. The premise of Commonhood is actually quite unique, and the system they were going for is seemingly well maintained. However, there's one unfortunate fact about this game that may, well, be a turn-off. But before we get to that, let's talk about the positive, yeah? Since the game actually has a rather decent amount to it. And despite there being the term base builder being touted around, the game is anything but that, and focuses on the management and you, the player, figuring out what you wish to do. As soon as you start up the game, you'll notice there's no tutorials, there's no help messages. And the game does not give you any clear direction on just about anything, having you figure out how things work and which goals you have in mind. There are various characters around the map that you can help out, different areas to help restore and build your commons, and once the day is over, you're given a brief overview of your progress for that day. The soundtrack in this game is wonderfully done, and the very same one you've been listening to this whole time, composed by the very talented SELMA. known for her critically acclaimed musical scoring, like in The Vanished Elephant. With a cosy design and atmosphere, and decent building mechanics, backed by a well-established composer, what exactly is wrong with this game, you may be asking? A quick glance at the updates section of the game tells only part of the story. However, and rather unfortunately, this game is still riddled with bugs and issues.
Beginning of May. Where are you going? Ma'am! How dare you?
And still has these issues, along with lagging while crafting, broken NPC schedules, like just standing on their beds, and more. But if you're willing to overlook these issues, Commonhood stands as what could have been, and still has many fun building features and characters.
You never know how lucky you are when you have a perfect life. Everything seems to be taken for granted. Losing something makes you realize how lucky you are. Then everything starts falling apart. Eventually, your past life feels like a distant dream. A movie you saw a long time ago. You become someone that you don't recognize. What's the point? I keep hurting everyone that loves me. The moment my wife needed me the most. Maybe it's time to end this.
Those Who Remain is a 2020 survival horror game by Camel 101, where you investigate the town of Dormont, where unspeakable horrors await you.
Hey, where's my car? Come back! Damn it!
Upon arriving and investigating the nearest motel, your car is stolen, and you're on your own as you stay out of the dark and use the light to keep you safe from the ever-encroaching darkness.
Hello? Shit. Why are they holding an axe?
There's puzzles, unique, enemy, and a gripping tension as the story unfolds around you as you find yourself closer to the truth.
The door is boarded. It's missing a fuse. It must be back in that house.
The game is around 5 hours long and doesn't take long to finish. That being said, from myself and others, there's some common issues with the game, such as the unfairness of the main enemy, an over-reliance on puzzles with not much direction, and the game soft-locking on you.
Oh, hi. I thought you were one of them. Who are you? Are you alright?
Possibly, but I don't feel alone. My name is Annika.
The voice acting leaves. Some things to be desired, but for an indie game, I thought it was okay.
Go! Mother is coming!
What? Your mother is here?
No time for questions. You need to leave.
Okay. Why? I can't just leave you here.
Go, Edward. You will see me later.
Besides the unfortunate jankiness of the game, If you have nothing else going on and have a few hours to spare, those who remain can be worth your time. Somewhat.
What the hell is going on?
Insurgency is a game by Saber, formerly New World Interactive, and is a co-op shooter with quite some unique maps, allowing up to 28 players at a time, and even has crossplay. The game itself is still somewhat active, having around 1,000 or so players at a time, at least on the Steam version. If you like Rainbow Six Siege, it's a similar gameplay loop, and still receives updates to this day. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this next game, at least after it leaves Game Pass, which leaves us in a rather peculiar situation, because it just looks so god damn awesome.
Summon raptors. Fight back. The enemy gate.
Dino Crisis be damned, if that wasn't just some of the best looking gameplay I've seen in some time. Alright, now that the hype has worn off, let's talk about a very sad detail about this game, and why it's such a damn shame that I can't recommend it. Now, while the gameplay is rather excellent, and I recommend at least trying this game before it leaves the Game Pass, a lot of its remaining player base, well, has come from just being on Game Pass, as before it was on there, and after, there are hardly any remaining players for matchmaking, and we'll get into why that's a very bad thing. For starters, the matchmaking system itself is rather choice, since it doesn't let you pick what type of content you matchmake for, and if there isn't going to be many players after it leaves Game Pass, well, you get the idea. So instead of going further into this game, I just recommend trying it for yourself, along with the others if you get the chance. Just be warned, if you do buy this game on Steam, you may have some issues actually trying to get into a game, but that'll just about do it. Thank you so much for watching this far, and as always,